Tonight, we find out what students think about the Mast Magazine controversy, interview the editor-in-chief of the Mast, recap the fall HERmonic and PLUtonic concert, and catch up with men's soccer team senior night. All that and more now on News at 9. I'm Paris Franklin.
And I'm Roselle Rosales. Let's get started.
The spookiest day of the year hit campus last week. Halloween festivities included a Disney Club costume party and the annual Flieger Fright Night. Mast photographer Oliver Johnson sought out some costumes and discovered what Lutz thought.
Awesome.
Kate, what are we doing tonight?
Flieger Fright Night.
Flieger Fright Night. You enjoying it?
Yeah.
Right on.
Amelia.
Awesome. What are we doing here currently?
Flieger Fright Night.
Awesome. And you guys enjoying it?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your name?
My name's Bree.
Hi, Bree. What are we doing here currently?
I am screen printing for RHA to support the Flieger RHC during Flieger Fright Night.
Awesome. You having fun?
I'm having some fun.
Yes. Damien, what's up? What are we doing here currently?
Currently, I helped set up all of this.
Word.
I'm part of the RAC here at Flieger also. I helped make all this happen.
Right on.
Enjoying myself.
Cool. Hey, Matt. What are we doing currently? Having fun? What's your name?
Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca. What are we up to?
We are at the Disney Club Halloween party, having a good time, watching some movies, eating pizza, admiring each other's costumes, and hanging out.
Dope. Recording.
Oh,
Hi, guys. We're recording. Hey, what's your guys' names?
I'm Liz. I'm Lindsay.
Hi, guys. What are we doing currently?
We are doing the Disney Club Halloween event here in Ordle Hall.
Awesome. And you guys enjoying it?
Yeah, super fun.
To see more from the event, look for the photo essay tomorrow in the Mast.
Fall festivities didn't stop at Halloween. November 1st was PLU's Dia de los Muertos. Mast TV attended the event and got the full scoop.
November 1st was the Dia de los Muertos celebration at PLU. Students gathered in the University Center to celebrate the Latin American tradition of honoring missing or dead relatives.
Celebration of the dead and having the living connect with the dead as well.
Students ate traditional food and decorated sugar skulls and cookies. All were welcome to stand and share memories of their loved ones.
I mean, the food is pretty cool, all the bread and the hot chocolate, but I do like hearing people's stories and, remembering their families and friends and stuff, so that's always nice to hear.
It's important to PLU because it shows the diversity, part of how diverse PLU is, and it's just something that keeps PLU from learning. Even people that don't know what Dia de los Muertos are, they can come up to the altar and find out what it is. And then you keep an open mind, and also just encourages people to know that these celebrations happen outside of Latin America. So
The altar will be up for the rest of the week for students to leave gifts and other tokens in remembrance.
For more information about Dia de los Muertos and other Diversity Center sponsored events, check out plu.edu/dcenter for more.
The D Center hosted another event this week, teaming up with the Women's Center to welcome transgender and LGBTQ activist and scholar Dean Spade to campus on November 3rd. Spade is a professor at Seattle University, but his previous professorships have been at universities such as Harvard and Columbia. His research examines the history and politics of the trans and queer movements for marriage and military equality. Spade's lecture focused on the gendered and racialized relationships of soldier and spouse in the queer community. The lecture was co-sponsored by the Women's Center and Diversity Center and held in the Scandinavian Cultural Center. For more information regarding the event, regarding Spade's lecture or upcoming events, email the Women's Center at plu.edu or dcenter@plu.edu.
Halloween costumes weren't the only shocking thing PLU students were talking about on campus this week. Our Mast Media sister publication, Mast Magazine, released its first full issue into some controversy.
The cover story, Get Drunk, Make Mistakes, brought in a lot of reactions online and shaped conversations on campus.
To get the full story, I talked to Editor-in-Chief Samantha Lund. What was she thinking? Why did she do it? Hear what she has to say after the commercial break.
Well, I read the one about like the partying part, I guess, and it was kind of interesting to read just because it was really relatable in my opinion, and I thought the part where they talked about like party hoppers that just come and join, and it was kind of really interesting because I know that really does happen.
I definitely felt like it was uncalled for.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
To get in the way before it happens.
To get a friend home safe.
And to not blame the victim.
It's on us.
To look out for each other.
To not look the other way.
It's on us to stand up.
To step in.
To take responsibility.
It's on us, all of us,
to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Last Friday, the first full issue of Mast Magazine released on campus to largely negative reviews. In particular, the cover page article titled "Get Drunk Making Mistakes" caused quite the controversy in the community. Mast TV took to the streets and found out what you thought about the article.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Well, I read the one about like the partying part, I guess, and it was kind of interesting to read just because it was really relatable in my opinion, and I thought the part where they talked about like party hoppers that just come and join, and it was kind of really interesting because I know that really does happen.
I definitely felt like it was uncalled for someone to get like drunk and then go out and party with other people and then write about it in a magazine. I felt like people come to our school and they want a really nice representation of our school and everything, so I don't feel like that should be something in the Mast Magazine.
Something that really bothered me was probably when they mentioned the shit happens section. The way that they approached the custodians in the article just seemed kind of disrespectful in a way.
I wasn't a fan, especially of the drinking one. I think that the point was kind of to start a controversy, which I think it definitely did. People are talking about it. I'm still talking about it. But I feel like it painted the entire student body in a really bad light.
It's cool. I mean, it's not like heavy reading, and you're not probably like going to take a lot away from the articles, but I think it's nice to have variety. You can't just read about like the perfect things that appeal to you, because you're giving a false image of you if you do. So I thought it was fine. I thought it represented the students in a fair way, and I think people are smart enough to realize that this doesn't like reflect like all just.
Following the release of the magazine, the Mast editorial board sent out a clarification to explain and apologize for community members who, quote, felt they weren't given the care and respect they deserve. Pick up both on stands around campus and let us know what you think on our Facebook or Twitter. There will also be an ASPLU forum to discuss party culture on Wednesday, November 11th at 7:30 p.m. The forum will be held in AUC room 133. And here with me now is Mast and Mast Magazine editor-in-chief Samantha Lund about the controversy and what's next for student media on campus. So welcome, Sam. Thanks for coming in today. Can you take us through the start of this article and to its publishing?
Yeah, so we kind of started this article thinking,
what do students talk, what do we hear a lot of, like, talk, not really out loud about, but what do we hear a lot of students talking about behind closed doors? What are things that students are interested in or want to know more about? And one of those things came up, it always comes up, is like, how do you report on parties? They obviously happen. Sometimes there are issues, sometimes it's just a thing that colleges have. Right. So how do we go about reporting on that? And then we came up with the idea to report on it in creative nonfiction, like a creative way, so we wouldn't have to single out anybody, so we wouldn't have to go and make a student feel like they were being put on the spot, or go to a party and ask students to give us quotes and have everyone feel like that uncomfortable draw of like, oh, I really don't want to be getting in trouble, but like it was a topic that no one really talks about or goes into, so we wanted to find a way to do it. So our way of doing that was I went to 4 parties that I found out were happening off campus. I am 21, so it was like I was the person that got kind of sent in to do it as like somebody who couldn't get in too much trouble for being around alcohol. I went to 4 parties. I talked to the people at parties. I talked to people who throw parties, people who go to them. I talked to people who sneak into parties. And what I came up with was kind of this long-running narrative of a story from a couple of people's perspectives, adding in some characters who I'd talked to, and I wrote it in first person. So what a lot of people don't know is that no opinions or no like, I walked into this room, not actually me. Right. Those are all like the stories as they were told to me. So a lot of opinions, like, I really don't like this person at a party, was somebody who shared with me like, oh, like I really don't like this person at a party. Okay. And I think that's part of where the editing and the style came from. And then going through publishing, we did, we wrote it several different times. We put several different layouts with it. We wanted to have people in the pictures. We didn't just want pictures of cups and like dirty floors. Yeah, like we could have just thrown a few cups around and like taken pictures of it, but we wanted to show you like we did this research. Like this is happening. This is what it looks like at an actual party, but we at the same time wanted to make students feel comfortable. So we went with putting things over their faces so you can't tell who's who. And then all the way up through publishing, we thought we had, a really solid winning article on our hands.
I see. Yeah, definitely. Can you talk a little bit more about what happened after it was published?
Yeah, so after it was published, the very first day, I was actually out of town. So what I got a lot of was like random tweets coming in from other accounts tweeting at the Mast account. As time got closer, we got a couple of angry emails. And a lot of that anger was directed towards, this isn't a cover story. Why are we promoting this on campus? There were high school students on campus that week, so like it was a lot of like, this is just not the right time to show prospective students, like this is stuff that we talk about. And along with that, there was a mention of athletes in the story. We mentioned them at the very beginning. It's a quick mention, but it is there. And I think that having a group associated with it, a lot of people were mad about that because they found themselves in that group, but not into the party culture. So they felt like we were lumping them both together, which is a very valid, you feel like your group is being lumped into something you're not involved in. Like that's a scary thing. So we got a lot of outpour that way. And as time's been going on, now it's a lot of, students are airing their concerns and we're trying to answer them the best we can. And, we've gotten a few like personal things going on where like people are personally talking to me or people on my staff, which is the opposite of what you want. You don't want people to feel like they're attacking specific people. But it's kind of moving along, and that's all that we can really ask for.
Yeah, and I can't imagine that it was easy to deal with, people misinterpreting the narrative, as it was like a combined, like you said, fiction and have that aimed at you. Has that been hard for you personally to deal with that backlash? Have people blamed you as a journalist, or? Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of the blame comes from people. It's me not being a very clear writer. Like I'm learning. Like I'm not an adult yet. Like I'm a college student, so I don't expect anyone to, no one's going to fully understand anything at this age. Like I'm not fully understanding writing. They're not fully understanding our message. So there's a lot of just ways that this is getting interconnected and tied together. So particular parts, like I've been called out for being, a sexist, and I've been called out, for certain opinions that are in there. And like that stinks. Like nobody wants that. And all that I can kind of keep reiterating was like, I did my job, creative nonfiction. Like I promise you, like I don't have anything against anyone on this campus. And
anything we really do at the Mast, we don't really put our opinions out there. That's not our job as journalists. We're telling stories, and that's another reason why like this story didn't have an end where it was like parties are awful or parties are great. It was just over. Like, this is the story. Do with it what you will. Like, I don't want to interject my opinion into any of that.
And so when it came to research, did you feel like you got a representative sample of the culture on or off campus, I should say? Like, what were you thinking in terms of like getting representation of that culture?
So my representations spectrum was a lot of, I went to a couple of parties where I knew the people who were throwing them, and I went to a couple of parties where I didn't know the people that were throwing them. And in my brain, it was completely random. Whatever happens, happens, and we will report on it. So just by trying to make it as random as possible and just kind of seeing what I saw, that's pretty much our representation of campus, because this is what any student going out, whether to a friend's house or to not a friend's house, would have seen.
Right.
And we weren't trying to represent people who were staying on campus. If we were, we would have stayed on campus and done part of that. But we were really focused on what happens when you leave campus and go out for a Friday night of partying. And like, this is what you will see. It wasn't trying to make a statement of covering everyone's bases and talking about all your options. It was, this is one way that you can like have a Friday night, and some students choose to do it, and this is what that looks like.
Interesting. So did you kind of expect this reaction going into it, or was it kind of, you know, if I had to do it again kind of situation?
Yeah, if I had to do it again, I would definitely change, you know, a lot of stuff. But I think that this is a story that can be covered, and it's something that we should be discussing. So no regrets there, but definitely we're learning, and this all needs to, we're learning. It's just what it is. Yeah,
that definitely makes sense. What does this mean for the Mast and the future of the Mast Magazine?
Mast Magazine is sticking around. We're not going anywhere. It's a learning curve. We've done an edgy story now. We've gotten it out of the way. And now all of our writers feel like they can, you know, go be part of this magazine. And like, we've shown who we are as a team, and we've shown that we can get through stuff like this. Yeah. And at the same time, I think it's a big, like, you know, don't be afraid of reporting on things that you think might be edgy or like might cause a little bit of a stir, because like we've done it and we're getting through it. So the future for Mast Magazine is we have another one coming out this month. We have a feature on, you know, Patty Christ going in there, and that's going to be so much fun. So I say definitely keep your eyes out. We have more to offer, and we have bigger and better things to do.
Awesome. Well, to wrap it up, is there anything that students should know about? Anything else?
Oh my gosh. Read the Mast every week on Fridays, read Mast Magazine once a month on Fridays, and watch News at 9. Like, that's... Oh, and email us if you want at mast@plu.edu, obviously.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for coming in and talking with me about this subject. So next up, you're not going to relieve any fear of missing out feelings once you hear about these events.
You talking to me?
Are you talking to me?
That's slow and blue. Look, he's blushing.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
I read through it and I was like, well, that's...
It was great to be on stage again for this week for the PLUtonic/HERmonic concert.
I heard it was a really wonderful show. Do you want to tell me a little bit more about the audience and how that experience was for you?
You know, it was awesome. I felt like we were really supported by our fellow Lutes. We had a full house, bursting at the seams. People were sitting on the ground. It was great.
Oh, that's always wonderful. Well, if you missed it, check out the Mast TV recap. If you did make it to the show, feel free to tweet us at PLUmast with what you thought. And of course, stay tuned to find out when the next combined PLUtonic and HERmonic concert will be.
Another event you
She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said, ooh, ooh, shut up and dance with me.
Sorry about that. Tweet us at PLUmast with what you thought of the show.
Another event you can attend each week is Hump Day, H-U-M-P, hosted by the Student Activities Board every Wednesday at 9 p.m. in the Cave. This event is a great way to procrastinate or take a study break in the middle of the week. And if you miss the next event, there is always next week. Some past events have consisted of pumpkin carving, a Wii party, and milk and cookies. The event of the week is announced on Monday, so stay tuned. Drop by and give yourself an excuse to procrastinate. And that is all for events, arts, and culture on campus. Come back next week for more of what is happening at PLU. Look at the new organization on campus, SAPET, and much more.
Next is sports with Sierra and Sam. Will the Lutes beat the Loggers? Stay tuned for the Mast TV men's soccer preview.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
To get in the way before it happens.
To get a friend home safe.
And to not blame the victim.
It's on us.
To look out for each other.
To not look the other way.
It's on us to stand up.
To step in.
To take responsibility.
It's on us, all of us,
to stop sexual assault. Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
That's low. That's low and below. Seriously.
Welcome back to News at 9. I'm Sam Ellison.
And I'm Sierra. Welcome to sports.
Volleyball had their senior night this past weekend, but not before beating Willamette in 4 sets Friday night to jump to second place. What do I do?
You know, every senior class is special, I mean, in their own ways. And you hate to see them all go, but at the same time, you'd love to see them go because you're proud of the men they've grown into. You know, you miss them as part of your program, but, you know, especially this group, a lot of maturity has happened over the last 4 years with some of these guys. And it's been really cool to see them just go from 18-year-old young men to 22-year-old mature men, and, you know, the growth that they've undergone, you know, on the field, off the field, and, you know, that's a really special class, you know. Troy, Todd, Jordan, Mike, Kyle, Tyler, just great guys that have been an incredible part of this program. I think we're just kind of sticking with the same mantra we have all year, is that all the games are big games. The Northwest Conference, you can't afford to lose them. You can't afford to lose. It's such a tight conference, and every game's so meaningful. It's hard to not overlook the fact that it is a crosstown rival, so it makes it a little more special. It's hard to overlook the fact that if we have any chance of being in the national tournament, we're going to have to get a result. It's hard to overlook the fact that it's senior night. So all that together will make it even more special. But in the end, once the whistle blows and the game starts, we just want to be our best selves that we can be for 90 minutes.
Welcome back to News at 9. I'm Sam Ellison.
And I'm Sierra. Welcome to sports.
Volleyball had their senior night this past weekend, but not before beating Willamette in 4 sets Friday night to jump to second place in conference. Saturday night, the team honored senior Alyssa Workman, Lucy Capron, Michaela Edgers, Casey Hartman, and Kylie Cooley, before defeating George Fox in 4 sets to improve to 10-4 in conference. Yeah. Tonight, the team hosted UPS, who they defeated in 4 sets. They'll finish up the regular season this Friday against Flintfield.
Women's soccer also had their senior day last Saturday, honoring seniors Emily Hanna, Kaylee Lyman, Jamie Hoffman, and Nicole Benham Martin, before defeating Whitworth 2-1, thanks to an overtime goal from Taylor Lund. The team already had defeated Whitman 2-1 the previous day after Michaela Grady scored her second goal, a weekend full of clutch victories for the team. This weekend, the team finishes up their regular season against Flintfield and Pacific on Saturday and Sunday.
These 2 teams aren't the only ones with seniors to honor, as the men's soccer team will host UPS for their senior night this Saturday at 6 p.m. The team defeated Pacific 1-0 and George Fox 8-1 this weekend, and they're ready to return home once again for a pivotal game.
Sam, read.
Speaking of playoffs, PLU had the opportunity to host the Northwest Conference Division III Championships last Saturday morning. The women's team placed 9th in their race, while the men's team placed 5th behind Brad Hodgson's fourth place.
While cross country was wrapping up their season, PLU's swim teams were getting started at the Northwest Conference Sprints and Relays in Walla Walla. The women's team finished first in the sprints, while the men's team finished third. Then the women's team followed that up with another first place finish, with the men's team coming in third once again, allowing for both teams to combine with Whitworth. The teams will participate at Lewis and Clark this Friday a.m.
Football played UPS on a rainy field to a 6-2 loss Saturday, dropping the record to 1-6 on the season. This Saturday, they'll travel to meet Lewis and Clark at 1:00 p.m., and you can follow along at plu.edu/laser to see if the Lutes can get back on the winning track. The team will then host their senior day the following Sunday at 1 p.m. against Linfield.
That's all for tonight. Make sure you tweet us your thoughts to @PLUMast.
See you next week. Thanks for watching.